Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel for another video today. If you are returning, if you are back, if you are here, if you are near, and you want to find out how to start a successful YouTube channel, that's what we are discussing today. Because every time that I go on my Instagram, which is like what, maybe once a month, maybe once every couple of weeks actually, I should say, I re-download the app and I just surf through it just to see what's happening. You know, I don't want to be completely out of the loop. I always receive DMs from you guys about how to start a YouTube channel. You guys ask me about tips and tricks and things that I've used in order to be quote unquote successful on my channel. And the reason I say quote unquote is because I think that my community on YouTube can be looked at as either big or small depending on who's looking at it. Obviously for me it's a huge deal that we have amassed 50,000 people on this community. I'm so happy and so grateful to that. It was a journey, okay? But it was a very beautiful journey at that. It's about to be a year since I've started my channel in December, which is, the time goes like this, okay? If you do end up starting a channel, just you'll see what I mean, because time just flies right in front of you and you're like, where the heck did time go? But anyways, I really want to talk about some tips and tricks that I've learned, and I kind of want to make this video a little bit more personal because I want to talk about my experience with starting my channel, the reason I decided to do it, and what it has done for me up until this point in my life. So without further ado, let's get into it. So fast forward to December of 2023 is the first time that I uploaded my very first video on YouTube. It's still up, okay? Especially when you go back and look at my video, the lighting was crazy, okay? I was filming at nighttime, first of all, which there's nothing wrong with, but I think like, especially with the camera that I use now and the angle and the lighting, it was just doing all sorts of things. Honestly, when I was starting out, I didn't even care about the lighting. I didn't even think that it would matter. I was just like, the content is what matters, okay? The words is what matters. People are only really gonna listen to my words. And as much as some people might be that type of consumer where they solely focus on the words because maybe they're more into like listening to podcasts and they're not really about the visuals, some people on YouTube care a lot about the visuals. So the thumbnails, the lighting, the camera quality and stuff like that. So it depends on whatever your preference is. But again, for me, this is when I was starting out. I did not care about the lighting. I did not care about the angles and whatever. I tried my best to just find whatever I felt like felt right in the moment. And then I went from there. So anyways, it was December of 2023. I had just bought the camera that I wanted to use to film my video in that last month of November. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't actually think that I was gonna post a video, but I had been thinking to start a YouTube channel for so long. It had been years since I was thinking about starting up a community that was just of very like-minded people, because I felt like, especially at that point in my life, I really needed that. And I really needed to know that I wasn't crazy and that other people wanted what I wanted out of life, which is to grow, to be more confident, to just discover new things. And if somebody were to ask me like, what's your favorite characteristic about yourself, or what's your favorite personality trait? It's my curiosity. I don't know if that counts as a personality trait, but it's my curiosity, okay? I'm just a very curious person. I need to know about things sometimes. I need to like get my hands dirty sometimes and just, you know, just find things out in life. That is just the person I've always been, and I just wanted to create a community that kind of shared that similar morality, a similar outlook on life, I should say, which I wasn't really finding in the people that I was interacting on a day-to-day basis in like real life, you know? Also, a side note, I just want to say, I'm gonna try to make this video very in simple terms, because you guys always call me out for using these crazy big terms that you can't understand, and I get why. You guys are from all different parts of the world, and I'm so happy about that. So from wherever you're listening, I hope that you can understand what it is that I'm trying to say or the message that I'm trying to get across. But I am a big reader, and I love using big words for whatever reason, because I think it makes me sound more formal and elegant. But if it makes it harder for you to understand me, I will try to use the simpler terms. But anyways, let's get back into what I was talking about. A big thing that you have to keep in mind if you're somebody who wants to start a channel is that people consume content differently. You yourself consume content differently. I consume content differently. The best piece of advice that I could ever give someone is, what would you want to watch as a creator? So when you show up in front of the camera, what is it that you feel like you would enjoy watching? So for my content now, I'm very happy to say I would actually watch my own content if I was another person, because I know what I like and I try to bring that to the camera too. Another thing that I try to look out for when I'm consuming content, at least like as a consumer, is authenticity. I love when through the camera I can feel that somebody is truly being themselves, and that's the approach that I try to take to my own channel, because I'm like, if I can tell when somebody's not being themselves on camera, then obviously other people will be able to tell when I show up in front of the camera and I'm trying to be somebody that I'm not. It'll be reflected in the same way, right? That kind of goes back to creating a really good intention for your channel too. I think the intention that I had was all throughout my journey of learning about myself and journaling and meditation. I was learning so many things about myself, but I was learning so many things about other people too. And I would always think to myself, this should be universal knowledge, you know? This should be stuff that everybody's learning, techniques that everybody's learning in order to grow as a person, become more happier, provide better for their family, provide better for themselves, just create the most beautiful and abundant life for themselves. And that was my main intention. I think that was a really big driving factor for me, because when I looked at the other people in my life that were really close to me and what they were going through, I was like, they could really use some of the knowledge or some of the things that I'm reading in these books or these meditation techniques or whatever it is, you know? Another really big thing with my channel is I wanted to see how far I could take it and if I could actually do it. At that point in my life, I didn't really have the same amount of faith in myself that I do now, because I felt that at that time I was just in completely different circumstances. I was in a really unfulfilling relationship. I was around friends that I shouldn't have been calling my friends. Like, there was just so many things to it. And at that point in my life, I was like, if I don't start my channel, I will live this way again and again and again. And even if it's not with the same people, I will relive, like I will keep creating the same circumstances for myself, because I don't think that I deserve better. And I will just sulk in the same stagnant reality, and I just wasn't about to do that. And so at that moment I was like, I need to post a video. And the day that I posted the video, I remember exactly what day it was, because I went to a restaurant and I ordered a glass of wine. I had my laptop out and I pressed post. I didn't want to think twice about it. I just wanted the video to be up and running, because I'm somebody who truly believes that you just need to start. And that is the best way to beat perfectionism as well, because you never want to keep thinking, is this perfect? Do I look bad? Are people gonna judge me? Blah, 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 blah. But it's so important to keep in mind that you are a beginner. You are starting out. You don't know your editing style yet. You don't know what lighting makes you look the best. Even if you don't even know if you care about lighting. You don't even know if you're somebody who just wants to film it on your phone. People do that all the time. I've seen some of the most successful people just film on their iPhones, they blow up, and then they start investing in the camera and all the fancy stuff later. They don't really care when it comes to starting out, because when you're starting, you don't know anything, and it's okay to not know very much about it. I am not a tech person myself. I couldn't tell you what the latest no, I can tell you what the latest iPhone is. It's the 16, but I wouldn't have known that. Like, I don't know these types of things because I'm not a tech person. So when it came down to editing, like, I could kind of make my way around it. And editing thumbnails, I used to make like these really fancy thumbnails, and I just had fun with it. That's the biggest thing to keep in mind, is always having fun with your channel, always having fun with making the banner and creating the thumbnails and creating the content. But I think that when you show up as who you truly are, you have a positive intention and you have something that you feel like you want to deliver to the world, you will inevitably be successful, even if it might take you some time. One of the other biggest obstacles I find in myself when I was first starting out my journey, but also in a lot of other people that are kind of considering to do it, but they don't really want to, and I know it's exactly for this reason that they don't want to start it, and it's because they care what other people think about them. The thing is, when you go through life, you are judged anyways. You are ridiculed anyway for whatever you do, okay? Even if you don't start a YouTube channel, you're still going to be judged. And if you start a YouTube channel, you'll be judged too. So if you're going to be judged either way, then why not just do the thing that you know is going to benefit you the most, you know, despite what other people think about it. And the thing is, like, when I first started on my channel, there was nobody supporting me. There was nobody cheering me on. Like, I felt like I was kind of alone through that process, as much as my family really wanted to be there for me and cheer me on and whatever. It was a journey that I felt like I was going on my own. It's the same as starting a business. If you talk to business owners, they'll tell you the same thing. Like, it's a very lonely process in the beginning, especially because nobody really believes in you. Nobody sees your vision the way that you do. And it's only that when things start to come to fruition, or you get rewarded, or you, like, you know, people see that you've amassed a certain level of success that they start to, you know, ask you questions and they become more interested, but don't expect people to be that way in the beginning. Nobody's interested in somebody who is a nobody in the eyes of others, because people, like human beings, we live off status. Like, and it's hard to hear, but it's just the reality. I personally, I don't care about that kind of stuff. So I was fine with just going through the journey myself. I was like, if nobody sees my vision the way that I see it, it's fine, because I'm still going to be making content anyway. Even if I had barely any views, which by the way, I didn't when I first started out. I remember posting my very first video and I had like 100 views or something on my first video, and I was so excited about 100 views. Like, I was grateful to the fact that my channel was at least getting some exposure, even if it wasn't like the crazy amounts that we all think it should be. But I started off very, very small, didn't really have much of an idea of where I wanted to end up with it. And it's only throughout this journey now that I'm going through my channel and I'm realizing what other things I want to do and how I want to branch out, and the fact that, you know, I want to start a podcast, and for people that want to kind of listen to the content on the go, and other crazy and amazing things. But I'm only now thinking about that now that I've kind of built the foundation for my channel. So I think that that's really important. But back to my point about caring what other people think, you will get judged anyway. People are going to look at you funny anyway. They will look at you sideways for doing just about anything. And I think for me growing up, I was actually quite used to that. So I didn't mind. I was like, if I'm gonna get judged, it's fine, because at least I'll be doing something for myself and then potentially also benefiting other people too. It truly was just a bet against myself, and I'm so happy that I took the risk. It's a very worth it risk to take, in my personal opinion. And it's also a very rewarding career. Benefits are endless, and you're obviously also working on your own timing as well. Another thing I will say is figuring out your niche is probably one of the key components of starting a really good YouTube channel. I think when you drift off into too many things, sometimes it can be kind of clashy. Like for me, I love fashion and makeup, but I don't do it as often as I would like to do self-development videos, just because I feel like this is more my interest and it's also what I enjoy more. But the fashion and the makeup content is coming, okay? There's just a certain vision that I have for it that I kind of want to execute, but there's a certain way that I want to do it, so I'm just waiting to do that. But stay tuned for the vlogs and everything like that. But you have to narrow it down to what you think you're most interested in and go according to what you believe is going to be the best for your content, for your voice, for your personality, what you're going to bring to the table, all of those things. The reason that I wanted to do self-development is because, of course, I was on that journey with myself, and then it also made me consume like podcasts and other usually female YouTubers, like vlogging and lifestyle videos and fitness and all the things that I love. So I wanted to kind of create a channel that was based on the things that I loved so deeply in my life too. But it might not be that for you. Like, that's the thing about this. And the freedom of being a YouTuber is that you can do pretty much anything. There is an audience for everything nowadays, you guys. People watch other people sleep on like Twitch and stuff. And when I heard that for the first time from one of my friends, I was like, there's no way. And I couldn't believe it until I saw it. There is an audience for everything. You just have to find a niche that you think that you're able to deliver the best, and create content based off of that with who you are and your individuality, your personality. Even if you want to do a faceless YouTube channel, you know, faceless YouTube channels are doing so well right now, because I think people are more so just being taken away from the aesthetics of everything and kind of just focused on the raw content, which is kind of just how I see it. But the approach that I took to my own channel was, if I was consuming my own content, what would I want to get out of it? That's how I make every single one of my videos now, is I approach it with the same mentality, and I think it works every single time. Another thing I want to make note of though is expecting to blow up immediately, or expecting, or just having so many expectations. I think that when I started out to begin with, I was a little bit disappointed just because I was having so many expectations about how things were supposed to turn out. And when it didn't turn out that way, it would feel defeating. And then it wouldn't make me as motivated to keep posting, but I posted anyway, because I was like, let me not let those thoughts creep into my mind and convince me that I shouldn't be filming content or putting content out there. I just sat down to record every single week as much as I could, especially when I first started out, and I posted whatever it was. I thought of an idea, or I was reading a concept in a book that I was like, you know what, I want to talk about this and it makes me interested, so I want to talk about it. And I would film a video and I would edit it and then I would post it. I had so much trouble editing in the beginning because I knew nothing. I had no knowledge about editing a professional YouTube video, like doing it professionally at least, or making it look even somewhat presentable. and I tried to get a mic and that didn't work out. And then there's just like so many things that you go through, but you will figure it out on the way. The only thing that you need to do is to just start, because I think that that's the biggest obstacle that people face initially. And then it's the caring what other people think about you, and then it's comparing yourself to other people's growth, and just not understanding that everybody's growth is, it looks very different. There's people that have started channels and in a year they hit like 1 million followers, or 1 million subscribers, you know, because they have brought something to the table that they a lot of people resonate with. Empathic resonance, I think, is really important with an audience and with a community as well, because if I'm talking about something that you feel like you can relate to, then that makes me and you connected in some way. And that's what I felt when I was consuming self-development content myself as a consumer too. Starting my channel and being on here has taught me so much in my personal life too, and it has definitely helped with my social anxiety. It's crazy. I feel like when I talk to people now, I just feel so much more resonance with them. Like I just feel like more connected to them, and I'm more open to knowing about the person, which I'm really happy about, because it wasn't always really like that. And I think especially if you're somebody who's like an introvert, it makes you uncomfortable to talk to people sometimes, and you just want to like run away and hide in a corner, because that's just like the nature of being an introvert. But my channel has really taught me to be patient and listen more, and just be more confident when I speak and carry myself more authentically and unapologetically as well. The thing that really helped me with having a vision for my channel was obviously adding things on my vision board. I have on my vision board the 10K subscribers thing on YouTube that like YouTube sends you, and I put it on my vision board, got that in, I believe it was March when I hit 10K. And then I also put on there the YouTube monetization eligibility, because I really wanted to get monetized on YouTube so I can kind of grow my channel into what I had in the vision that I had in my mind. Basically, I wanted to execute a particular vision. So there's a lot of like YouTube stuff on there because I wanted to make it like a real part of my life, you know? And I think that's another thing too. A lot of people might think that it doesn't require a lot of work, or it doesn't require a lot of patience, but I genuinely think it's one of the careers that requires the most patience, if anything, because you just don't know how things are gonna go. And even now when I create, I don't know how some videos are gonna do as opposed to others. I still have the plaques on my wall for when we reach 100K. But I have all of this on my vision board because I had an idea of where I wanted to be with it. So I think being specific about the goals that you want when it comes to your channel is really important too. If you are somebody who is looking to start a YouTube channel, I implore you and I encourage you so much, or even if it's not a channel, if it's a business or something or whatever it is that you feel like you've been starting to, or you've been wanting to start for a while now, I encourage you to do it because you will not regret it. Like, it's a risk that you're willing to take. And if it fails, if anything fails, you can always try again. Because even if it's not necessarily the most successful thing, at least you learned something from it. At least there was something that you took from it, that now you can go on and you can live your new reality with this knowledge and this wisdom. And I think that that is such a worth it trade-off. But again, being patient with a channel is like being patient with a business. You just have to wait for the results to come, but you need to keep putting in the work for it too, right? It wasn't until after now people are starting to clip, like I see people clipping my videos and putting them on TikTok and stuff, and I appreciate the love so much because it has been such a journey since the first time I posted my very first video. That just goes to show what patience can really do for you, because I was very patient with the process and I was very patient with building the community, the type of community that I wanted, of like-minded individuals who just get the vibes, who just understand, you know? I hope that helped in some ways, or I hope that answered any questions that you might have had when it comes to creating a YouTube channel for yourself. But if you've been thinking about it, stop putting it off. Go start a channel, or at least go create an account or something, and just wait for the blessings to come to you, because they will, okay? And always think in terms of abundance. Never believe that you cannot do it. Stop caring about what other people think and just go the whole mile, and you will not regret it, I promise you. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one.